ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. I'm so excited to be here with you all. If you're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network, watching us on Broadway World, or checking us out on social media, I'm excited. You know, years ago, Michael Orland told me that he was in New York because his godson was making his Broadway debut in Wicked. And then I met Sam, a mutual superstar friends of ours. And Sam, you know, Sam Gravitte is a superstar. His family is superstars. His parents are superstars. He's a superstar. And there's no way you want to spend July or August than up in the Cape seeing Sam sing some of the greatest pop songs of all time. What are you Come on, people. Get in your car. Take 95 up north. Sam Gravitte, welcome to the Roundtable.
Hello. What's up, Robert Bannon?
This is Sam Gravitte.
Here I am.
How are you?
I'm okay. It's a summer Sunday. You know, we're facing the New York heat. We're not melting. We're okay.
I hear you. I'm excited. I'm so excited for you to be here. I joke about Mike, but Michael Orland did say that. Michael Orland was here to see you make your debut. You grew up in a very showbiz royalty, really. Actor studio, Tony Awards, just showbiz and glitz and glamour of it all.
Yeah, and I'm sort of genetically doomed, I like to say. But
is there a moment where you said, like, I'm going in the family business? Do you remember the moment that happened?
I do. Well, there's sort of two chapters to that. Let's dive right in. Why don't we?
Yes.
But my parents were super deliberate about sort of no child acting, so they didn't want me doing any professional work as a kid. But that's because I was so busy doing other stuff. I was playing all the sports. I was a good student, so I was really sort of into my books. But in fifth grade, you know, the first opportunity arose, and we did the school musical, and it was Oklahoma, and I got to play Curly. And it was really remarkable. The man who ran that program was a man named Glenn Lebeck, and like every fourth and fifth grader in the entire school got involved. There were like 100 kids on stage, so many kids backstage and building sets and doing, and it was really just this like beautiful collective effort. But I got to lead that company, and in fifth grade, my precocious little 11-year-old self was like, "Mother, it's over. I'm going to be an actor." And she said, "Oh no." But really, it was sort of like after that, I knew what I wanted to do. And I also grew up in this town where a lot of kids' parents were commuting to the city to do finance or other sort of corporate stuff. And my mom was like flying to London to sing with a symphony orchestra. And I was like, well, that version of life seems to just tug at me a little bit more. And then in seventh grade, this is actually a story that I'm going to tell. I have a show, a solo show that I do, and I'm going up to PTown on July 6th to do this show, which is really exciting with the amazing John McDaniel as music director. But and I've never been to PTown, so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Really, Robert?
No.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm such a bad gay on this pride. Like, I've never been to Fire Island. I've never been to PTown. I failed.
Sunday. Well, Now you have two excuses. You can come see Beautiful at the Cape Playhouse, and you can come up to PTown on July 6th.
Done. I love it. Yes. You have a solo show. Done it.
I do. So I did this at Birdland, but I tell this story about how there was this big white armoire in our living room growing up, and it housed all of the music. And we one day it was around Christmas time, and we went to sort of pull out all the Christmas music. And for some reason, we started rifling through all the old records and music that our parents had, and just running into memories everywhere, left and right. And my parents pulled out this 2-disc set, and they said, "Oh my God, we used to play this for you guys when you were kids, like in the crib." And they went to this very specific track, and this key change happened. And it went, exploring things you'd never dare, because you don't care when suddenly there's a big, tall, terrible giant. And my time froze. My body had this somatic memory of hearing that as a kid, and though like sort of my mind hadn't remembered it, my body did. And I became obsessed with this idea that music could have this power and this sort of like leave this residue in me. And the next week I knew every word to Into the Woods, and it was the beginning of the end. I my iTunes library just became 70 show tune CDs, and that was where the doom really started.
That's fascinating. It lives in you. It's like a muscle memory, and your body instinctively knew. Well, yeah. You are as charismatic, and your voice is as gorgeous as ever. It is, and true. Sings down and up and down. And shout out to your mom, because your mom does the Steve and Edie show with Steve Lawrence and Edie's son. That is so fan-freaking-tastic. And I have such memories of like thinking about as a kid, my little Italian grandmother playing Steve and Edie records. So when I see your mom's show, and that it's those memories like of being 5 years old singing, it just lives. So shout out to your mom. She's a superstar.
No, and that was my mom recently did that show with David Lawrence at Carnegie Hall, and that was just a couple months ago, and it was one of those moments where as an adult, to be able to appreciate what both my parents do and what my mom does through a different lens, having done it to a certain extent, and having a new relationship to the work. That was such a magical night to see her shine up there and to really have that perspective. Like, that's my mom. That's so insane. It's so insane. It's never lost on me how lucky I am and how grateful I am to have them.
Yeah. Well, and we're grateful to have you and the work that you do. Many of you have seen you over in Wicked and have seen you do your other performances, your shows, your solo show. How does a show like Beautiful come to you? What was your journey to be a part of this season at the Cape?
Totally. Beautiful was sort of the old-fashioned story of it was an audition that landed in my inbox. And I didn't, it's funny because Beautiful is a show that's been done 400 times over the last couple of years across the country, and everyone loves the show. And on the inside now, I understand why, but I have never been part of any incarnation of it. I saw it once, I think it was 2018. I saw Abby Mueller do it on Broadway, and she was unbelievable. But beyond that, I didn't really have a relationship to the show. So I went in and I did the scene work and I did the songs, and it felt good. And I got a call that I was going to be able to do it. And it's been so wonderful. And this company, it's funny because of that phenomenon that I named, where so many people have done it before. I think there are 18 members of the cast. I am one of 3 of us who have never done the show. Everyone else has done 1, 2, 3, 4 iterations of it. So it's sort of fun. I'm the only principal who's never done it. So it's sort of a frying pan fire situation, which I love because I get to be the sort of disruptor in the room. I get to have the questions and the ideas, and our director David Ratura and choreographer Joyce have been super receptive to all of that and have let me sort of play within the bounds of the play. And I have to say that I just feel wildly grateful to be in this with the incredible Julia Nightel, who's playing Carol. She's just everything you want in a scene partner. She sounds unbelievable, and I really think it's a special show, and I hope that folks can come enjoy it up at the Cape Playhouse. What a beautiful place to come see theater.
What a beautiful place to come see their 98th season.
Crazy.
You can get tickets at capeplayhouse.com.
Right
now, while we're talking, July 10th to August 3rd is your chance. So if you have a summer vacation, you have a free weekend, you can catch Beautiful up at the Cape.
I hope you guys are watching this because we have graphics right now.
There are graphics.
We
tried. Look, you can follow Sam on IG at Sam Gravitte. Go right now and follow.
Wait, I got it. There it is.
There you go. See, it's follow. It's just taking a lot of shows to know which hands and which way to point. All of that stuff. Your co-star you were talking about, Julie, she's iconically been Carol, toured in Broadway and all of that stuff. So what is it like when you all get in a room and sing these songs that are all a part of they're the great American songbook of the time.
Totally. I think what's fun about the show, the sort of gift of the show to the audience, I think what most folks have walked away from the show with and will walk away from the show is like, oh my God, they wrote that? So it's sort of out of this era of these like song factories where artists weren't writing as much of their own tunes, but this team of Carole King and Jerry Goffin, who's the character that I play, wrote these iconic songs. The Natural Woman that Aretha Franklin made famous. They wrote Up on the Roof by the Drifters and Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow and You've Got a Friend, and all of these songs that have such staying power in the culture, but in so many different voices. And it was a really fertile collaboration. And then, you know, the personal life gets a little tricky, which is where the drama lives inside the show. So come for the drama, stay for the songs. But it is truly remarkable to discover this period of time in American music, sort of at the beginning of rock, how it interacts with Dylan and the Beatles and the Supremes and those sorts of groups, and then you know, out of a building in Times Square, you have Jerry Goffin and Carole King and Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil writing some of the most famous songs of all time.
All time. I mean, and I think Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow was maybe the most beautiful pop song ever written, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And the arrangement in the show is so gorgeous.
It is.
And Sam, you know, you played Jerry, and like you alluded to, spoiler alert, folks, not super nice husband.
Jerry had some stuff going on. Jerry had some stuff going on for sure.
Not this, but their relationship and the way that she speaks of him for the rest of her to this day is about their partnership and about the magic that they were able to create as well. So if you haven't seen the show or you've not seen this version or if you haven't seen it in a while, that's why you need to see it. And then Sam's bringing a whole new je ne sais quoi to Jerry Goffin out there at the Cape because he's never.
So come and look, and you can say quoi.
And you could, yeah, it's a voulez-vous coucher avec moi. So, what is it like when you go? You know, you're in New York, you do Broadway, you're at Birdland, you're doing shows, you put together other shows and other cabarets and other. But when you go somewhere outside of New York, especially like somewhere like the Cape, where there's not as big of a theater community, they're starving for art. So what is it like to see the people, to be in the audience when you're not in this tri-state area that we call New York?
Totally. I think what you learn is sort of every audience breathes differently. And I think the sort of fun part as an actor in those situations is to sort of learn, because that's the final relationship of the show is when you're on stage doing anything. It's what that relationship is so active, and it's actually the last piece of the puzzle. You don't get to do it until you have an invited dress or a preview or an opening. And that's the most exciting thing. So it's you know, I was down in Houston last year and I did this beautiful production of Sweeney Todd. And that's a very specific audience. And then I think going up to the Cape, I'm really excited to sort of learn how they react up there and how they breathe up there. And of course it's dependent on the show. And I think Beautiful has this sort of wonderful quality. It's this sort of universal valence where everyone has a way in because of their relationship to the music. And, you know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of like, you know, you hear two chords and you hear the audience go, oh, yes. There's a lot of that. But yeah, I think it's fun. It's a nice, the amazing Eric Rosen has just taken over as artistic director up at the Cape Playhouse, and he's I think doing a wonderful job sort of shepherding the Playhouse into their 100th season, and he I think has this great gift of understanding New York as someone who lives here, but also the sort of how a regional theater can live and breathe and fill a need in those communities, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
Absolutely. So if you're there, $1 Million Quartet, Waitress, 39 Steps, they have a full big old season. So when you're up there, make sure you support art and theater wherever you're going to be, and the vacationing of it all. You're going to be with John McD coming up next week, July 6th.
It's on Saturday.
Saturday. So Sam, how do you build a cabaret show? Like what is your set list like? What is an evening with Sam Gravitte like?
Yeah. So this show is, it's a riff on the show that I did at Birdland in March of 2022, it would have been, which was a show that I put together called Songs That Raised Me. So it does have these sort of callbacks to what we were talking about in terms of how I was raised, and my family history, my way into this way of being, why it's not my fault. But it's also fun going up to a place like PTown, because what I've been telling my friends is like, you sort of get to sing some of those songs that you would never sing in New York. So like, I'm gonna do Out There, don't tell anyone. I'm gonna sing Being Alive, don't tell anyone. But like, those sorts of songs that are like, they're in my book, but I would probably like, it's those, everyone's done them. So, but you get to collaborate with a genius like John McDaniel and put an evening like that together. I play the guitar as well, so I have a couple guitar arrangements of songs that I'm proud of. I do a No One Is Alone, which is an arrangement that I did originally over the pandemic, when an organization asked me to be a part of their sort of pandemic gala. I do a jazzy arrangement of I Could Have Danced All Night. So yeah, I think it's a fun program. You get to learn a little bit about me. You get to hear some songs that you love, hopefully, and some songs that you didn't know, hopefully. And then, yeah, there might be an homage or two to one Debbie Gravitte.
We want it. We need it. Most of us in this business are doing an homage to Debbie Gravitte. I mean, she is late.
Whether you know it or not.
That's right. That's the truth. I think us in New York need to hear you sing Out There. Come on, that is a beast. I'm ready for it. I'm sure we can find the information at your Instagram page that you can get your tickets if you're going to be up in PTown. And John McD plays for everybody in his play. I mean, he raised a whole generation of theater people on television himself, and his work is bananas. So that's going to be a super fun time. How do you balance all of this, Sam? How do you balance the auditions and the work? And I'm in New York, and I'm on the Cape, and I'm doing shows, and I'm trying to have a life. Like, is there a trick?
No, I have always been a person who, if you want something done, give it to a busy person, is sort of the way that I have always operated. I was a college athlete, so I went to Princeton and played lacrosse there, and was like doing, and it truly was the moment of my life where I felt like the most capital P productive, because I would wake up, I would go to class, I would do some work, I'd go to lacrosse practice, I'd get a lift in, and then I'd like go to rehearsal and do some more work. And you could put your head on the pillow at the end of the day and be like, wow, that was a productive day. So I think I'm sort of chasing that feeling in my life ever since. And I'm also a writer. I'm a playwright, and I just did a workshop of a play of mine a couple of weeks ago. I was lucky enough to have the joy of producing the relaunch of Pride Plays with the incredible Sammy Lopez, the festival that was founded by Michael Urien, Doug Nevin, and Nick Mayo in 2019. So we just had that event on the 24th, and it's been really fun to have sort of all these balls in the air. And that's when I feel like everything's sort of buzzing and starting to, like, things are catenating, and when I feel the best. So it is for me the moments of like, la 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 la, what's next, where I feel untethered. But I think the balancing act is like, the more plates I have up there, somehow the more relaxed I become.
I get, it's a disease. I understand. I get it. I'm like, okay, we're going to sing, and then we'll do 8 interviews, then I'll teach 5th grade. I get, Sam, why can't, look, I was still stuck on, I'm on the lacrosse team doing a lift at Princeton, and then being in a performance, and then having good grades at Princeton, and then you just leave Princeton, you book a Broadway gig, you're a Broadway leading man. Sam, you're the kind of person that other actors are like, he has no body fat, he's on Broadway. What the hell, Sam Gravitte?
Well, you get a really great therapist. Shout out to Michael. So important. But no, I've been really lucky to be supported by some really incredible people along the way, and that's always been a major part of it is the folks who champion you. So I just hope I can keep building, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this community in any capacity.
Well, I can't wait to see you do your show, either if it's up at PTown, if it's in New York City, if it's anywhere, wherever you see Sam is going to be. You better check out the show. I need to, your show was up. The pictures, the people, why wasn't I there? I promise, I'm pinky swear right now that your next show, pinky swear, right? I will be there, ready. I'm ready. I'm so excited.
I will hold you to it.
I promise. I promise. And then my husband, my fiance, he says to me, "Don't you go on your show and you promise people you're going to go to their show." And then, no, I swear, I'm not, Sam. I'm going to be there.
Okay. Well, you have an audience who's going to hold you accountable. So
that's why I had to say it. No, your voice is so beautiful. Your humanity is he's the nicest person, everybody. He's as sweet as can be. And that's why you got to go check him out wherever he's going to be. Follow Sam on Instagram. Go to capeplayhouse.com. The show is running. You open soon, next week.
Open in 5 minutes.
July 10th to August 3rd. So you only have a couple of weeks to see it. So you better make your plans. And if you're going up to the Cape or anywhere in the neighborhood, make sure you head on down and check out the show, 98th season over at the Cape Playhouse. I'm so happy to see you. I was so excited to talk to you, friend. I appreciate you so much. You're a class act.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Anytime.